Good morning. Good morning. I'm late. I'm late. I'm very important for a very important date. And why can't you guys hear me? Hang on a minute. Or is it just turned down on my end? Can you hear me okay? Good morning, Carol. I'm sorry I'm late. I got to looking at some pictures and video clips I found, and I got a little lost in my memories there. How are you? Good morning, Shelby Holidays. Welcome. If you're new, please consider subscribing or hitting the like button or hanging around. I will tell you up front that this show's a little bit different. Normally I have a partner, a co-host, but he's a little under the weather right now, so he probably won't be back for a little bit. I hope he's back soon, but I don't know for sure. So today we're going to talk about something I don't usually talk about, but something I used to know. I used to think I knew a lot about, and then all these new live streamers came. Disney World live streamers came along and just kicked me right out of the park. Am I frozen? No, I'm not frozen. No, I got it. All kinds of diffuse. Good morning, Miss Tina. Good morning, Chuck. If you're out there, yeah, we're going to talk about something a little bit different today. Well, I can't say we always are serious. We do try to do shows where we have some educational value, I suppose. But then again, when you've got Mark and I doing it, maybe that's hard to do. Maybe if you know us well enough, you know that you'd probably laugh when I say that. We'll give everybody a few minutes to come in before I fire up. I'm wondering if my wife's going to be here. She was. I don't think she slept much last night. I'm going to give her a ring because she said she was going to be here. Tina, you guys are recovered from your vacation? Hey, you gonna make it? All right. See you in a few. Bye. She's gonna make it. She's just a little late. Dun, 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 dun. Chuck is at a meeting. He'll join us. Thank you too. What have I done? Our names are showing. Yeah, the names are. I don't know why that's happening. That's YouTube. That is a YouTube thing, Carol. I didn't think I'd been having this. I guess I'll call it a problem. I guess you guys have to tell me if it's just the numbers. I know the at symbol is new. I think you can go back in somewhere and change that, Carol, back to your normal car key name, but I'm not positive. Yeah, I think we're all becoming frenemies, Carol, a little bit. Nope, I still have a cold I think I got on the flight down. Oh, wow. That kind of stinks. Tina, were you guys at At Disney, or were you just down south vacationing, or both? I assumed both, but maybe that's not a fair assumption. Nope, you can't. YouTube is capricious and stubborn. Oh, I thought Josh and them were saying you could change it. I've never tried. I just let it ride, but I don't know. I'm not sure what the purpose is, other than they want to line us all up and put us in, so they can Elon or somebody can download us all. I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are. You reckon, Tina, there are 516 T McNeils? Yes and yes. First week at Disney and second week off property went to SeaWorld. Oh, how was SeaWorld? Never been to SeaWorld. I wanted to go a long time ago. And I'm leaning towards more and more towards going to Universal, but I don't know if I'll ever do that or not. Oh, SeaWorld. Good, good. I know it's changed a lot since, well, I know it's changed a lot from what it used to be. And by that, I mean they've added stuff. I'm not sure what they had when I first started going, when I first lived in Florida. I think, but they've been there a long time. And I think then it was mostly just basically the acts and the aquarium type shows. But now don't they have just shared you out? Well, thank you, Shelby. I'm going to assume that your name is Shelby, but I'd call you Shelby Holidays. We'll call you Shelby. We'll call you whatever you prefer. We're pretty casual here in that regard. Hey, John Surf Bum's with us. Good morning, sir. Have you been fishing this morning? It was raining here. Now that the sun has come out, so I guess it's going to dry up. Well, my name is Tim, along with my YouTube name. Ah, too many touristas there. Hey, John. Or I guess it would be even up there, especially if the weather's not turned cold yet. What time is it? I'll give a couple more minutes, then I'm going to get started. Even if I don't, for those that are here and those who might not have been here lately, uh, Mark, my co-host, is probably still not going. I'm not sure when he'll be back. He's still kind of recovering. He's had some hurt himself, had some stomach issues that I think maybe what put him in the hospital. I think they about got that cleared up, and we'll see if it turns out into something more long term. But and something else. No, maybe that's all for now. But he is back home. He was in the hospital. I'm come to find out he'd been in the hospital 10 days altogether, and I didn't know he was in there till about the 7th or 8th day he was there. Nobody had called me or anything, and I I had not called him because the last time we talked, he was sick. You know, he was having stomach issues and he wasn't here. He missed that show. And then I guess right after that, he must have gone to the hospital. Good morning, Miss Brenda Pruitt. Yeah, it's a lot. And for a guy that absolutely hates, I mean, none of us like to go to the hospital or the doctor even. And Mark absolutely hates it. I mean, he does not like it. I don't know how else to put it without getting too, without getting maybe too turning to too much adult language. I don't know. He doesn't like to go to the doctor. He doesn't like to go to the hospital. He's a little bit like me. He and I are a little bit alike in one regard. He feels like every time he goes, the doctors kind of tell him if it hurts somewhere, well, don't do that. And, you know, he's kind of right. And, you know, they tell him to go home and put ice on it and, you know, take it easy for a few days. And he always figures he could have done that without spending money and going to see them. But to put him in the hospital and lock him up for 10 days, they must have had him sedated the whole time because I just can't imagine that. I just absolutely cannot imagine that. No, Tina, and that's part of the problem. I mean, I think that is part of the problem because he has one of the other things they're working on is his shoulders, which he probably hurt when he fell, but he'd already hurt. He was already complaining to me about his shoulders a couple weeks ago. I mean, he was talking about how bad his shoulders were hurting, and so I don't know. You know, he could have damaged something and just, but he won't. He won't, like I said, he won't go to the doctor. He won't fix it. He just goes back and figures it'll just heal. And he don't heal like he used to. He's an old man now. I keep telling him that. Not saying you should give up, but you just the fact of the matter is, science, nature, we just don't heal like we when we're this age, that like we did when we were 29. And he still likes to, you know, live kind of a rough and tumble life, which is as long as you can do it, I'm all for it. I spilled a dribble coffee there somehow on my hot plate. Surprised that didn't sizzle. Yeah, but I definitely am missing him a lot. Uh, I'll talk to him again. I'll probably talk to him today. I've talked to him a couple of times since he's been home, but I just don't. He's really tired and he's having to do some other stuff during the day, and I haven't pushed it. His daughter, excuse me, his daughter and I have been talking more, a lot more. She's been keeping me filled in, and his wife too. But his daughter's been filling me in, I think, more than anybody, which is good. We hadn't talked. I always used to joke about her being my goddaughter. It was just sort of unofficial. I mean, unofficially, but um, you know, from the day she was born till I don't know, she was 5 or so. I got to see her kind of often, but then after that, I didn't see her for a long time. So I'm kind of glad we're getting to talk again. She probably doesn't feel that way, but I do. Tina says I have arthritic shoulders. You don't realize how much you do with yourself. Yeah, and that's the truth. I don't realize how much I do with a lot of things until I try to do them these days. But hopefully he'll be back soon. I don't know. Next week's Thanksgiving, and while I'll probably be on doing something, I don't know if he might be here. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking he might be back next week, but I'm not. I'm not gonna push it. Like it could be as late as after Christmas, first of the year, but we'll see. I know he's wanting to get back on the show and get back to things and kind of get back to normal living. So I hope so. I haven't talked to him. Like I said, the conversations I've had with him in the last couple of weeks have been mostly short and very broken because he's not always been real coherent. He's been drifting in and out of medication. He's floating around his own purple haze, I guess, a little bit. But hey, oh, I know, and something else like he quit chewing tobacco. He's chewed tobacco since he was a kid, and I'm sure that probably helped to elevate his blood pressure. Now he's dealing with low blood pressure. Maybe, man, it's probably a combination of something they put him on med wise and kept doing that. And so he told me his blood pressure was real low, and I would have guessed that. He sounds like he's kind of slowed down in that regard. Um, so I'm sure he's probably getting used to maybe having normal blood pressure again. I don't know. I really don't know how high. I don't know how bad his was. I know there was a few times mine scared the crap out of me, but it was usually because something else was going on. For example, when I detoxed off of morphine, my blood pressure got sky high. But that's been a few years ago. Miss, I'm going to guess it's Miss, but if it's Mister, please correct me. Shelby Holiday. What? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What part of the country are you from? And are you a Disney fan? One thing about Martin not being here, I have done a little bit, talked about Disney a little bit more than usual. I hadn't done that in a long time, so it's kind of good. Tell him he can swear all he wants when he something hurts, or we will watch him float in his purple haze. That could be fun. Yeah, I'll tell him that. You know what I mean. When I first talked to him, he was in the hospital. Here's the first day at some point, I guess he realized he hadn't talked to me, so he called me up from his hospital bed. Was that last Saturday? It must have been Saturday before last. Because he's missed 2 shows. No, he was sick once. Maybe it was last Saturday. He called me, and the conversation was a little bit like this, and it was a little bit. He was having a little bit of trouble following what I was saying, so I just kind of let it ride, and we talked for a little bit, and then I let him go. But he wasn't. He wasn't feeling good. He was down. He was really tired. Nurses or doctors were in there poking at him, and so we just hadn't talked much. And I can tell he's not back, 100% himself. But I'm sure he will be soon. I think once they get any medication changes they did, like, or anything they've got him on new, once they get that regulated, he'll be right as rain again. But I will pass your comments and well wishes on to him. And is there a way I can mark what does that do? Okay, and in case you can't hear me, I'm whistling Beach Boys. Watching the Beach Boys last week at Epcot just has me all. I'm still whistling songs. I was trying to see. There's a star out here by in the chat boxes on my screen. They're not on Facebook screen. They're just in the StreamYard stream, and I don't know if that means that May have to try that. If I've probably been missing out on something for 2 years now, then I could click on that and save them. Well, good morning. Let me see what if I can read. Well, that's Ian. Something came up, and I actually have to pay more attention today, so just dropped in to say I have. Oh, Ian. Well, I hope it works out, buddy. Good to see you. When your name first popped up there, I wasn't sure. Hey, there's Miss Diana. Good morning. Long time no see. Well, sort of, but not in here. Not much. Sorry, but yeah, sorry something came up. And if it gets things calm back down, get hop back in. So, because Mark's not going to be here, and I'm still trying to save a show for him that I've already gotten the can. I'm going to put together some more, I guess. And but because of that, I decided that since most everybody in here besides him at the time is a Disney fan, that I would just switch over today and we'd do some Disney talk, if that's okay with you guys. Now, I've got to figure out how to do this and be able to see the chat. And since I can't see myself and see the chat, if I start looking very foolish, or if a ninja sneaks up behind me or something like that, you guys tell me so I can react, make a kung fu move or something. Where's your hubby? I didn't notice. I didn't say where's your better half, Diana. Where's the other half, or 3/4? We discovered something last week. I believe it was last week. We discovered that the picture that Diana had posted of something Alexander. I'm guessing that was an award ceremony or some kind of dinner or something you guys were at, and there was big old Mike, tall Alexander, and little bitty Diana. Not little bitty, but she definitely finished out the curve. And I hope you realize I'm just saying that in good fun. I'm already stopping up this morning. All right, before I get started here, and I got it pulled up, and I'm getting ready to turn it on. Well, in fact, I will go ahead and do that. There we go. Give me just a second. I was digging around in my photos and walking down memory lane, or trying to find something else, and I found some photos that I had taken on a trip that Brendan and I made back in 2003, and we took a camper down in late November and went to Walt Disney World because we wanted to see the Christmas decorations. And it was after Thanksgiving, I'm sure. I don't remember the exact date now, but so it was about this time, 22 years ago or so. Now that I think about it, a little bit later, but anyway. And I was thinking, we took pictures of decorations and things, and the decorations and the Christmas celebrations and things have all changed. I think I don't know if any of the Mickey. I don't know if any of the Christmas parties had started or not. They did do some after hours events that were extracurricular. sometimes they were for hotel guests that were there on property, and sometimes they were just added extras if you were in the Magic Kingdom in the Magic Kingdom park. I don't know if they did them anywhere else. I do remember that, but I'm not sure if they were as formalized as they are now. Good morning, Mike. I sure hope you're late because of the donuts. I hope, I mean, as in you brought them. I mean, you're late. There must be a good reason. So, anyway, I was digging through those photos and I thought, well, I'm going to put some of these up. I got a few that I can compare with what decorations look like in 2003. And in some cases, I'm going to go back and compare how they look today. And then in doing that, I found a couple of other things I couldn't resist putting in also. So I don't know. We'll see if you guys enjoy it or not. You can let me know in the fine print, or you can let me know here in public. But anyway, hey Kay Atwood, welcome in. No, you're just fine. In fact, I'm just getting ready to start the show, or at least the entertaining part of the show. Maybe, I hope. So we're getting ready to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Disney today, which we don't do a lot on the Saturday Morning Shine show. I did that intentionally because there's so many other people who can do live feeds and streams, and I just can't do that because I don't live down there. And when I realized that my Saturday morning show probably ought to be about some other things, which I also wanted to do. I'm going to say educational things, learning, just different things maybe you don't see every day, and science things and history things and cultural things and that sort of stuff. So we don't do Disney much. And since Mark's not here, and Mark's my co-host, for those who don't know, I thought we'd talk about Disney, and probably might even do this again before he comes back, because it is the holiday season and things are changing down there. And if you've never been to, if you're a Disney fan, I highly recommend you get down there at least once in your life during Christmas time. And now Christmas time goes from Halloween to Christmas, so it used to be a lot shorter. When these pictures were taken, decorations had not been up since Halloween. Some of them were just going up, and they used to put up decorations on Thanksgiving night. Brenda, you can attest to this. You'd leave the park on if you went to the park on Thanksgiving and you came back on Black Friday or the day after Thanksgiving, boom, decorations were up and Christmas had begun. And it's not like that anymore. It's not like that anywhere anymore. But Disney starts right after Halloween. Of course, they start Halloween right after, before a month before Labor Day, August. And so things get kind of accelerated, but that's mainly because of the demand they've created for these after hours parties and things, I guess. But anyway, it's always been so cool. And for example, one of the magical things we got to do one time, and I've never met anyone else who's done this, so I don't know if they quit doing it or if it was not that common, and you had to ask about it. They didn't just advertise it. It was kind of a hidden secret. But I went up to the check-in counter, or the, what do you call it, in the lobby, and I asked if we could go up on. Well, actually, what got it started was I was looking to find out if I could go, if the Wilderness Lodge had an observation deck on top where you could go up and look around, kind of like the Contemporary has, and and take some pictures. But they don't. But they do have. There is an area up there, and their flagpoles are up there. And one of the things they did back then was you could ask and go up, and you could be in on a flag raising ceremony where you got to put the flag up and take it up the pole. I think we did that, and they took pictures, which unfortunately they lost that particular morning. We didn't get them. It wasn't like it is today. They were using this was in the 90s, 95, 96, and they were using some kind of I think they had a throwaway camera, to be honest. And but so we never got our pictures, but we still had fun. I took some pictures. I got to find those pictures. But we got to go on Christmas morning of that year. Brenda and I had to get the girls up early because it was a sunrise sort of a thing. You couldn't sleep in and go up at 10 or 11 o'clock and raise the flag. The flag's got to go up early. So, but we got the girls up and we went upstairs on Christmas morning and we got to raise the flag and do the flag raising ceremony on top of Wilderness Lodge that morning. And that was our first, that was actually the second time we'd stayed there. First time we actually planned a vacation there. We spent 2 days there first year, right after they opened, because we were down there camping. It was raining. And we thought, well, let's go try the new lodge. If we can get in, we did. We stayed a couple of days and left. And when we knew we had to go back, so we did. Anyway, so Wilderness Lodge has just always been cool. But that opening, that ceremony, flag raising thing's always been something important for me. It stuck with me. So let's go here. Let's do a little house keeping, as we say. Please consider hitting the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel again if you haven't already and you're interested. Hit that notification button, and you never know what we might be talking about. Here in a couple of weeks, I'm sure we'll be back on to the history of the world in some regard. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Give me an idea you'd like to see us do for a show or anything like that. Just make sure it's at least 8 words. The algorithm likes 8 words, and if you send out 8 words, put something in, it's more likely to get posted out there where somebody else might see it and pick up on it. Maybe we'll pick up a few more visitors, a few more guests, and not completely hide our light under a bushel. So this is Christmas in no. This is Christmas in 2004. And Brenda and I had decided to go camping. Well, it's not on Christmas week. This is before end of November, 1st of December. So it wasn't actually 11/28. There's the date right after Thanksgiving, and we took a camper. We rented a pop-up camper, a Coleman camper. This was a nice rig, and we took it down there. But the first day we were there, we pulled in and we stayed. We actually spent one night at the All Star Sports Resort, and then we took our camper over to the campground, checked into the campground, which was an experience all by itself. I mean, you've stood in lines at Disney. If you've ever been there, you've stood in line. Well, we sat in line in our car behind many other much bigger campers than we had. But we've actually stayed in the campground 4 or 5 times at least. Brenda and I camped once. We've been there in the cabins once or twice, and we've stayed in a tent 3 times that I know of. So we like the campground. We still talk about getting a camper of some sort, and going down there and spending some time, because that's the least expensive way to go. I guess if you don't count the expense of the camper. But anyway, I wanted to kind of show some of the decorations then. And I went back and found a few of more modern ones, and you can see the difference. Some of the resorts just had a little bit then. They've got a lot now. Some of the resorts already had a lot, like Wilderness Lodge. I don't have any of the Poly, unfortunately. Contemporary had quite a few, but some did, some didn't. Now most all do that I'm aware of. And this is a picture of the lobby. This is at the All-Star Sports Resort. They had this tree in their lobby, and their lobby's not huge like it is at, say, Contemporary or the Wilderness Lodge. And they had this big ribbon or a big wreath in the window. And this is the dining area, the food court. And Miss Brenda has evidently gone and gotten us a fork and a knife. And I'm at the table, no doubt, with some Mickey waffles or eggs and bacon or something to that effect. And she's bringing us that. And we're getting ready to eat and then load up the camper and head over to Fort Wilderness. And I just realized the young lady at the table in front of me there, and that's not me in the picture, by the way, has a bullseye, I think. That's Woody's horse, you know. All right, let me check with you guys. Most of you guys have been to Disney, so you tell me about this. You tell me memories you've had or things you've seen. If you've ever been down at Christmas, take a look and please pass a cinnamon sugar while I refill. Wait a minute now. Who's got a cinnamon sugar what? I don't want to miss out on something here. Oh, Brenda brought the donuts today. Well, you need to bring one up to me then. Hey, Dave's Disney Dreams is in the house. Good morning, Dave. So this was a picture of the food court, like I said, at All Star Sports in 2003. And, you know, I think if you go there today, I think you'll find that. And this is just the basic, but that's all they had was this in the lobby and some few wreaths in the trees, and the rest of the area wasn't really decorated. And I think now it is more so. After we're done, I may try to pull up some pictures of 2025 or 2024 and just see what's there. But what I've seen on videos and people live streaming and vlogging, I think there's much more now at all these places I'm going to show you. What Brenda say? Well, Dave, you just lay right there and watch us, and you you just be lazy, buddy. I'm sure you deserve it. As long as you're not ill, you're not ill, are you? Did I miss something else? Yeah, you know, back then it seems like every time we went to Disney in the fall, you know, November, December area, it was cool enough to wear sweatshirts. What happened? Global warming, maybe, huh? All right, so let's try another picture here. Let's see what I got next. And this is another picture of the All Stars. There's a few wreaths on the wall, and there's a happy couple. Boy, you can't believe how much weight I've lost since those pictures were taken. That's in the gift shop there, and that's me wearing a great big Mickey Ears hat. And I later swapped that out for a Santa hat, which I wore for a long time. In fact, I may have already had it. And wore it every time we went down there. I always took my Mickey Santa at Christmas. I always took my Mickey Santa hat, and it looks like Brenda had on a Christmas tree hat. She didn't buy that. I didn't buy the Sorcerer Mickey hat either, but I wanted to. Well, no, that's a young couple we met, Carol. I mean, obviously, I'm taking the picture, right? So that must be somebody else. I still have that sweatshirt. This one right here. I can promise you that. We didn't always buy a lot of souvenirs, but we sure had fun looking at them. Oh, it was outright cold when we were there on the 10th and the 11th. Oh, what? Well, how about what did it actually get down to? I think it was down in the 40s, wasn't it, Tina? Which I'll admit is very chilly down there. And if you live down there, it's downright frigid. I know. Oh, he's still in Florida. So anyway, let's see what I had next. Oh, these are just but see the difference. If you've seen pictures lately, I think you'll find that most of these areas have decorations. This is out behind the lobby. at All Stars at sports, and as you can see, there's virtually no decorations around the buildings or anything. And I think you'd find that that's changed today. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. And no, there are not two of these back there. This is the same um, Mickey statue, but two different angles. Well, as you can see, there's two different people on there. My young and beautiful wife, and then me. It was 34 at night on the 10th. Woo! And, well, it's all that humidity, Tina. You know what causes it. It's just all that. It's so wet. I mean, when it gets down in the 30s, it's cold. You guys probably heard this before. The coldest I remember getting in Florida when I was down there. Anytime we went to, I was in a pit crew for the Daytona actually for the Daytona 500, but also for the Daytona 300, which was held on Saturday with the I don't know what used to be Busch Grand National cars. Now they call them something else. And we went to the track on Saturday morning and started setting up the pits and everything. And we had to break ice off of everything because it had rained a little bit the day before, and everything there was frozen. And it was 28 degrees, and we were trying to work on pit road in t-shirts, and there just wasn't much. It was cold. That was cold. And I lived in Florida for a while, and I can remember Thanksgivings going swimming. So I don't know if I adapted to the chillier weather or if it just didn't seem to be as cold in to me. I don't know, but we thought that was great to go swimming and Thanksgiving, because where we grew up, Labor Day came along. That was the last day for swimming in an outdoor pool. Everybody closed their pools down. Maybe you can unpack your leisure one day at a time. Give yourself some grace, my friend. You've been through a lot. There you go. Absolutely, Tina. Ah, looky here. She recognized me. Let's see what we got next. Get back to more Christmas decor. Now, this is over at the campground. We've checked in by this point. I don't know what my T-shirt says. 2003, maybe. Looks like it does. Here's a single Christmas tree. I've got a picture of this in a moment. A newer one. And this one didn't have a whole lot on it, but it was decorated. And you can see there's some garland around the top of the Crockett Tavern, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, or somebody's been there, or Tina. I don't think the Crockett's Tavern's there now. I think they've changed that. Or actually, Crockett's Tavern might be. That's the bar end of it, but it's Trails End Grill or whatever that's different, I think now. But anyway, that's your host sitting there in a rocking chair on the porch. I'm sure we were up there to eat breakfast or lunch or something. Just out having fun. I've said before, when we would go down in these Christmas season time periods, we didn't always just run in and try to ride rides. We did go in and ride stuff, but we also took a lot of time just to look at everything else and explore the park and all the peripheral stuff. A lot of campgrounds, hotels, resorts, I guess is a better term, or the correct term now. And, a lot less crowded, and you can just relax and have a lot of fun. And that's what we enjoyed most. When the girls were there and they were younger, we ran. And Crockett's is a quick service now. Okay. And Tina's still complaining about the cold. November in Florida, it's dang cold. Now I understand we are getting 6 inches of snow. Oh, you are. I knew there was snow coming in some parts of the country. I was wondering if we might get some, but we're not. As far as I know, we're not getting any. Da, 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 hey, Jason Tribideau, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. But you can see there's some Christmas decorations, but not a lot. This is inside. and that's not apologize for a few of these pictures aren't the greatest. I don't remember. This was early days of me having any kind of a digital camera. I'm sure the megapixel count was low, at probably 4 at most. And sometimes I guess I was just moving or they focused. I was still learning how to use autofocus. This one looks focused right here on this pink jacket, but not necessarily in the background. And these were point and shoots. I didn't have a SLR yet, or don't have one now. But I still want one. My SLRs were all film cameras, and I have those, but I don't have any. I don't have a digital SLR, and I really do want one. Anyway, and this was the ticket and information area. I don't remember if this one is up front. I think this one is in maybe near the meadow common area, which is kind of in the middle of the campground. Uh, Crockett's Tavern, Trails End Restaurant or Buffet used to be. It's up at the upper end of the park. Let's see, that's eastern end of the park by the lake and the campground. Excuse me, and it's where the other trading post is, and Hoopty Doo Review is right beside here. It's in that end. Meadows is down further. It's in more into the campground. It's closer to the middle. See if I'm missing anybody else. Diana wants you to keep the snow, Tina. Oh, come on, Diana. I'm sure you'll have plenty. And this is the other thing I wanted to show, and this is what got me thinking about this whole idea anyway. You know, Josh and Jenna and Resort TV One, and I'm sure many others that I don't know, or will do at some point in the next month. They'll do a drive-through of the campground and show all the decorations that the campers bring in and put up. When we were camping down there, and the first times we went to the campground at Christmas, there were just a few people starting to do this. And most of the people that were there just had a small Christmas tree with some lights, if they had anything, and a few other, maybe some small things. But then there were a few people who were like this that had lots and lots of stuff already. Now, it doesn't hold a candle to what you're going to see in a month when Jenna and Josh go through there. It's amazing how much stuff people have now. Just like the Christmas visit or the the Halloween time. Let's see what I said that my wife's going to correct me about. Nothing. Her and Chloe are watching. Her and Chloe are watching the show on the couch. I don't know if you guys can even see that or not. Probably can't. I'll show it later when it's bigger. So the upper right picture. Well, let me go to the bottom. Lower bottom, you can see that this one campsite. This is all related to this campsite that I'm circling in the RV with the black top. All these decorations belong to them. And if you get a little closer, this is the first time I'd ever seen this. These people had every kind of Donald Duck plush doll or toy that I believe I've ever seen. Their windshield was absolutely full of mostly Donald, but if you look close, there's some Mickeys back here in the background, some Santa Mickeys. And it's Christmassy, but mostly it is Donald Ducks of every kind. And they've got the front of their RV decorated. And like I said, that lower picture is that same camper. But if you look, campers on either side of them, either nothing or very little. And today that's not how they do it today. It's all everybody gets into the act. I think the most we ever did was maybe string some lights, but we started taking and put some on our tent one time. I think we'd take a Christmas tree down and put it up. But I'll never forget, we were camping one year, and I think we were tent camping. We might have been staying in one of the cabins and just walked around, but we went through. No, we weren't. We were camping, and the girls were with us, and we were in a tent, and we were coming back from the park, and it was late, and we were walking through the campground to our tent, and we walked by this one campsite, and they had several trees set up, and they had one tree that had a mechanical Mickey that was making the motions of climbing up the ladder to put the star on the tree. And he'd go up and down, and I never forgot that. So after that, we always wanted to do more, because, and that was one of the neatest things I'd ever seen. Now, like I said, everything just is above and beyond that. Our neighbor mowed a couple. Oh, we're not mowing. Brenda, don't even say that out loud. Carol said, Donald is my favorite. He's just a misunderstood duck. He certainly is, Carol. I've been accused of being a Donald before, but it's mostly because of his anger issues. I'm backing up here just a little bit to see if I missed anything. Da, 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 da. Donald is Chuck's favorite too. Mine is Pluto. I like Pluto too. I like the Fab Five a lot. And I like I said, I had a Donald shirt, may still have one, but I've got accused of being like Donald. But I always liked Mickey a lot. But Mickey didn't get he didn't really get as much development in some ways as the other ones did. Donald is awesome. Love his attitude. A little bit like you, Dave. I got you. So let's see what else I got. So here's another camper. These might all been together in one cluster now that I think about it. They've got and these are beside them. So I was incorrect when I said they don't. The side ones beside them don't have anything. But pretty basic features are flat cardboard cutout type stand ups. They brought their own snow. They got some kind of an angel sitting on the front of the Airstream there, which is cool. I like that. I actually like that just fine. I don't have to go. This is that same one that had all the Donalds in the windshield, but a little bit closer up. And they got a big Donald there cut out. Lots of Mickeys, lots of other people or characters. But today there's so much digital and so much blow up stuff. I mean, it's all different, and everything is so animated. So many things that are animated and move around. There's Donald, and here's a real simple Santa, Coca-Cola Santa Claus and Frosty the Snowman. Let's see. There's Donald and Daisy, and here's some reindeer back here. I would say these light up a little bit anyway. Got a train in the front. That's kind of neat. And I bet that lights up at night. I don't think I have a nighttime picture of this. And this is more like what it looks like when you walk in now. That's the tree. It's got a lot more stuff on it. This is down by the Hoop-de-Doo review. And there's just more decorations all over the building. The simple garland is gone, and now they've got some hanging garland. I don't know what year this was actually taken. I went and pulled a few newer photos off the internet just so that. Yes, I am a Donald by name. That's very true. My middle name is Donald, so I guess it does fit a little bit. That part, I got that from my dad. He and I shared a middle name. And this is the Christmas trees there now. And again, like I said, you can see they're much more decorated. And here's a few Christmas lights and decorations in the campground. Along that's somebody's motorhome, and I'm sure there's one right here behind these. And again, just more stuff, more blow ups, more animated lights that flicker and move and run up and down the driveway or the parking site. And I love this golf cart for driving around. It's got reindeer in front of it with a Rudolph. They don't have the whole team, but they've got several there. And then, here's this bunch has got a TV or a projection screen or something in the background, and there looks like I see Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or Louie, Dewey, and Huey, whatever their names are. and just a whole bunch of stuff out front. And I like this bottom one here. There's a big Pluto sitting right in front, Tina. And there's a big bear. I just now noticed that. There's a black bear holding something. I don't know if it says welcome, visitors welcome, or what it says on the front. I didn't notice that till just now. So that's cool. And then here's a few more. I saw a couple of these, and I've seen them before. That this is but kind of like, I guess, sort of a miniature Magic Kingdom with the monorail set up and the Contemporary and the Polynesian Hotel and Grand Floridian over there on the far side, and they've got the castle in the middle, which is not where it goes, but that's okay. And I don't know if they still sell these sets, but I always wanted to build a model train set and include that and let the monorail, do, because they used to sell those different buildings that the monorail resort hotels used to be on that you could buy and put on that track. I don't even know if that's still available, but it was a kind of a neat set back then. And this is what it looked like when we went into Animal Kingdom. And I guess you can look, I don't know, I'm trying to think if this is when we went. I think this bottom one is a newer picture, but you can see that the Christmas tree pretty much looks the same. There might be a little bit more garland on the front of the ticket venues, but not much. And then over here, there was virtually none. There's still not a whole lot of magic in the Animal Kingdom, and I'm sure that's got to do with the animals. They don't want, balls around getting stuffed ornaments and things taken off trees and dropped into the animal enclosures and other things that they don't need to be eating and chewing on and swallowing. So I get that, but they do more now than they did back then. And since I've never been, somebody can tell me, do they do decorations in probably do, Tim, but not in the parks anymore. Tina, I'm missing that. What did I say? Which part of what I said? Tina said they probably do, but not in the parks anymore. Well, what I was going to ask, they decorate Discovery Island outside, but not each of the sections. Oh, okay, I got you. That's what I was wondering. Do they? Because they could do like, I don't know that they do it, but over in the oh crap, what am I trying to say? This section with the okay, I gotta quit trying to think so hard, it'll come to me. Maybe it won't. Okay, what do you call yourself when you create a, like Tina's got Miss Piggy, what, and Brenda's got Sebastian the Crab? No, she's just got she's got some kind of pistol shrimp. What is that called? Anyway, one of the spacier sections that's off to the, I think off to the left. Do they decorate that? There's no live animals in that immediate area. No, not an alter ego. There's a movie. The whole movie was named for that, where they would put somebody inside a bigger body. Emoji, was it? No, not Emoji. Avatar. Thank you, Tina. Avatar. And that whole Avatar section, I don't think they call it that, but would like to rent a trailer here one weekend. Down here, Mike. At Disney World, you can, as far as I know. I know you can rent RVs, bigger RVs. I've never tried to rent a trailer down there. We took ours down there. If you can get one closer to, to Disney World, it'd be a lot easier in that regard. Most places that have them will also set them up on site for you, or they did. You can have that arranged beforehand. So you just get there and go to the campground and sign in and do your thing, and they tell you where to go, and you go get your keys or whatever, and you're all set. We thought about doing that too a time or two, but we never have. I keep looking at small motorhomes and older motorhomes and trying to decide if I can maintain them anymore and make them work or anything. And I don't know. I don't know if I can or not. What Brenda and I probably ought to have. That went down the wrong way. Hang on. It burned a little bit. Something stuck. If Mike had given me a donut, I would have thought that was it, but I didn't have a donut. You stayed in the cabins, but would love to camp. I tell you, well, you gotta want to camp, obviously, but camping was fun down there. I mean, you don't have to cook. Obviously, most people aren't going to cook at their campsite and have to go through all that. It's a place to stay. The rest stations, comfort stations, bathrooms, the shower are the best that you're probably going to find anywhere short of a Buc-ee's. And I only say that because that's something Buc-ee's does, and that's a big thing for them. Cleanest bathrooms in America and showers, and they offer all that stuff there. But they've got the best campground facilities I've ever been at. And we've been in the cabins at least once, maybe twice. That's correct. That's what we would like to do. But hopefully one day I'll be trucking down there in my Airstream behind my truck. Well, I do hope so, Mike, so you can come here and pull it in our driveway and stay too. Our first trip to Disney World, we stayed at the Oh, okay, cool. I like the campground because it's just so much more relaxed. Yeah, you got to travel a little bit more to get to the theme parks. It takes you a little bit longer to get around the way we do it. The way I always did it was we went down, parked the vehicle. I didn't get back in my own vehicle till I left. Now I know a lot of people don't like that. They drive to the parks and get out and do all that because it's quicker. I just didn't want to drive. I just didn't want. I parked and just let them haul me around for a week. And we just got used to the schedule. I mean, you just plan ahead. But that's just us. And how we do it today, I don't know. Probably the same. The only difference is today I'd probably have to have a mobility scooter. The reality is I don't think I can do a park right now. No, I can't right now, and may never be able to again. I don't know, but that's just how it is. But that's something you can do. They can make that happen. Well, I probably should say glamping, Diana, but that's okay. You're still in the campground. And I meant to put it in here, and I don't think I did. Back when we first started camping at Disney, the only place they had an outdoor movie that you could go roast marshmallows at and stuff was at the campground. And now you can do it at several places. I'm pretty sure they do have a little fire outside and I think they have a place where you can sit outdoors and watch movies, but I'm not sure at Wilderness Lodge. I've seen some people doing it in a couple other of the hotel resort areas where they could go outside, buy a kit, roast marshmallows. And when we did that, actually buying that kit we thought was a value because we got a whole bunch of graham crackers, a whole bunch of candy bars, and a whole big thing of marshmallows. It was all good. we liked it. Relaxing trips are so much better. Yes, they are, and that's how we looked at it. We did our fair share of running, but we also did our fair share of just moseying. And when the girls got up to a certain age and we knew they could get around, we would let them get out, run off in the parks without us. And we'd go a little slower, but we never let them get too far without us. And, once they knew their way around, and I can think of one time we did that and they rode Big Thunder Mountain 5 times in a row. That's what they did. I thought they might do it too, Diana, but I wasn't positive. But I know several do, and I've seen them. People have shown them online, or at least showed the areas where they happen. Let's see what I had up next here. This was MGM then. The top one is then, and the bottom one is more now, and that's just the ticket center going in. But once you got inside the studios back then, there wasn't a lot. There was some. And I hope I put these pictures in here. I'm intended to. But now there's so much more. I mean, my goodness, the studios to me, and we've never been at Christmas to the studio since they started all this. I mean, we've been there, but not since they started all this. Or started doing more. I love their decorations because they're a little bit more retro, and I want to go and see it again because it's just so much. There's so much more, and I think so much more, so much more better, so much better now than then. This was Epcot, and I don't. There I am sitting in front of the Epcot. What was the Epcot Christmas tree then, which was setting right out, and it's still there. It's where it's at today. It's right as you're going into the World Showcase. And one of the things that, as far as I know, is no longer there and was when we went is these arches of lights leading up to or going away from the Christmas tree. That was just wonderful. I mean, it was just beautiful. And as you were going out of the park, those lights danced to the music they were popping through the park, which was all Christmas music at that moment. I can't remember what all they played, but it might have been on a more orchestral scale. But it was the lights danced and moved with that. It was just beautiful. And I really like that. I really hate that's gone. And I believe I'm correct that is gone now. I heard at one time that they thought that might have been for a parade or something, but they didn't do a parade, so I don't know why. I don't know why somebody decided they could do something better, but I'm telling you something, I don't think they could ever beat that. If you ever saw it lit up and when it was doing its thing, yeah, Mannheim Steamroller is one. Yes, Tina, absolutely. That was one of the soundtracks they ran with it. And maybe the Trans-Siberian Orchestra some, but I mean, it was just gorgeous. And I hate that they took that down, but then again, I hate that they took a lot of things down. So there we go. And that tree, I thought that was a new tree, and then I realized, no, that's the tree I took a picture of. So this is, back then, the World Showcase was, most of the decorations were in the American Pavilion and probably the English, Canada and England, or the UK rather, excuse me. And maybe Germany and Italy had some. I don't know about France. But they had, the World Showcase had more decorations, and this one I recall had more. And now again, there's more. And this is Disney's Wilderness Lodge, which has got to be my favorite lodge, and they just do Christmas so well. And part of this is because that first time we went camping and then we stayed at the lodge, they had just opened the lodge that year, hadn't been up but a few months, open but a few months, and we just absolutely fell in love with it. And I really do like to go and stay at the Wilderness Lodge. It's also one of those places where you can sit down in the lobby and just chill, and at least I always could. I always felt really relaxed there. All the countries decorate now. I thought they did. And what is Mike saying? We should all go there for breakfast. Tim's buy. Tim's buy. I tell you what, we all show up for breakfast. By God, Tim will buy. How about that? I would. I'd be glad to. It'd be my honor, Mike. It might not be anything more than a donut, but I'll buy. And this is just a different angle. Might be from the same. Might be from the. What did I do? Might be from the same location that this one was taken, which is that's the main entrance right there on the right where those logs are. And I'm standing up there on the balcony on the first or second floor, probably first floor. I know, not first floor, because the ground floor is actually below this one. Anyway, whatever ground floor, whatever floor that is, third or fourth. And this is that probably from that same place, just a different angle. I love the fireplace there, um, year round, even in the summertime. It's just, it's just nice. I start to say it's cool, but that would be not correct, would it? It's hot. The Christmas tree on the left is the Christmas tree that was in the first set of, I guess, DVC buildings they built beside Wilderness Lodge. Now there's a couple of sets. This was all before any cabins were built, any chalets or whatever they call them. I can't remember the name of this, but this they had, and that's what got me into another hole here. They had a room dedicated to railroads and Walt Disney because of his train interest. And I think I have that here in a moment. Again, we're still there at the same angle, but looking down at Whispering Canyon. But you can see how they all the decorations, the garland on everything. And at night, it's just, spectacular. Different angle for the Christmas tree. Instead of being at the front, I'm in the back, I think. Oh, maybe it still is from the front. I don't. I just took this picture from the out in the. These were all taken at Christmas, but the picture on the left one is just the campground. Oh, but I tell you what, you can see. You can see the flagpoles on top of the hotel in the front of the lodge up here, and that's the one we put up. That center one, not the year we did it, but that's the flag. That was cool because we got to go up through you can go all the way up to the 7th floor of the hotel, of the main lobby back then, and then you have to go up another set of stairs or two to get to where the overlook or the observation deck is, but it's not open all the time, unfortunately. They had a little bit of decorations on the. This used to be. This is something different now. I know it's more of a restaurant. Back then they had a few things, but not a whole lot, and they rented out, I think, stuff for the swimming pool and maybe the lake out of this building, one end or the other back then, I think. Yes, and Animal Kingdom and Wilderness Lodge to me are a lot alike in that regard, and I do agree with that. Well, the Animal Kingdom is right up there at the top with me too. I don't know if I put any pictures of them or not. Maybe I did. I'm not sure if I did. And these are at Christmas, but I don't know why I put them in there. There's not a lot of decorations. This was in 2003. This is that same Christmas trip. I was walking around taking pictures. Brenda must have lost me, and I wandered loose with my camera. Nothing special there except just a beautiful hotel. And I couldn't resist Christmas blow off of the geyser. I just going gone here, kinda. Oh, it gets higher than that. And this was that room, and these pictures are for some reason are not very well focused either. And I don't know if that's me out of focus. That's out of focus because Walt's moving on that car. a railroad maintenance car, a pump car, or whatever they call that. Uh, the pictures at the bottom, I don't think these are there anymore, but that was two of the train cars that were on the train that Walt actually had running in his backyard at his house in California for a while. And you can't tell it from that angle, but those are big enough that people could sit on them. He actually wrote, and I'll show a better picture of it here in a minute. That's why these are up here. I love trains, and Walt's train thing was just. I wish I could have done. I'd love to go somewhere and do the live, what they call live steam, which are model trains, scaled down little trains, but they're big. They actually run and they work on steam, and they just like they have all the moving parts of the real thing. That picture in the left is Walt with Mickey on one of the first trains at Disneyland. And if I'd done my homework, I could have told you which one that was because it's number 2. And that may have been the E.P. Ripley, who was named after one of the original presidents, I believe, of the Santa Fe or Santa Fe Pacific Railroad, which was important in the early Disneyland days. I may have something about that here too in a minute. And this is that train I was talking about. That's Walt and his steam train, which eventually became called the Lily Bell, which is what's in the lower right hand corner. And he sat on top of the where Donald is. He could sit on top of this, put his feet up here, and he could run this train all around this big track layout. I mean, that's a real honest to God trestle they built in his backyard to run the train out of. That barn in the background is kind of famous. That was Walt's red barn, and after he died, and this whole area got redeveloped, I guess, years after they had left there, weren't living there anymore or something, and they took that, instead of tearing that barn down, that barn got moved to Griffith Park, where it still stands. I love the fact that we were able to take the girls, when things were more nostalgic. We were able to take advantage of the dining plan when it was very generous. We had a lot of fun with the kids and hubbies. With kids and hubbies. Yes, you did. You had 3 kids is what you had. You had one great big kid that was older than the other 2 kids. That was the problem. So this isn't Christmas, except for, I love Christmas trains. I'm trying to get a Christmas train to put out here someday before Christmas. I hope that I have a Christmas tree back here, guys, that you can see, and I have a train running around it. I'm hoping. But anyway, these cars, they had several of these cars in the hotel at Fort Wilderness Lodge at one time. I don't think they have them there now. I think they took them all back out to California. So you can see Walt riding on the train, or sitting on the train. He would sit on the front, or on the, either that or on the tender. I think he sat on top of normally sat on top of the locomotive, and then kids would sit all down through here. I can't remember the number of people he could haul on that thing. It was quite a few. And there's a picture of him in the lower right-hand corner working on the train, putting it on the track, getting it ready to go. Him and the other interesting thing was, out of the 9 old men who were some of the original and most famous animators at Disney, out of those guys, 4 or 5 of them were into live steam. So most of the guys that are here that you see in these photographs are part of the Disney family, so to speak. And that picture of Walt in the top, he's building that train actually at Disneyland, in the shops at Disneyland where they had the tools and equipment to do that. Hi, Julie McCowan. Welcome in. Set a spell. Pull up a rock. But that's where he built it, along with help from some of the folks there who were machinists. I have a book back here, and I should have brought it up front before I started my show, all about Walt and his railroading, written by the son of one of the guys that used to do this with him. In fact, I think it's this guy standing here, and I can't think of his name. Maybe it'll come to me in a minute. He wasn't an animator, I don't think. He was just he built things like he was an Imagineer. But they built the train on site, and then he had it running at the studio first, I believe, and then eventually took it home and ran it in his backyard. Now, the gentleman standing beside Walt on the other side of this locomotive is Ward Kimball. And Ward Kimball was one of the 9 old men, but he was also one of Walt's favorite railroad buddies. And that picture is at Disneyland, standing in front of 2 of the trains at Disneyland. But the locomotive on the right, Ward Kimball's Emma Nevada, is one of his 2 locomotives that he used at what was known as Grizzly Flats. Now, what's Grizzly Flats, you might ask? Well, Grizzly Flats, and I've lost something here. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to find my notes. Grizzly Flats was the first full-size railroad that was ever built in someone's backyard. He had 3 or 4 acres of property, and he bought these 2. He bought a couple of these old locomotives like that one, and he saved them from being scrapped, rebuilt them himself in his backyard garage, and he built enough track to run them. Like, I think they could go 900 feet and then stop, and then they could back up and run. That was all he could do. He couldn't make a loop, at least not at that time. I think eventually he did get it bigger. But Ward Kimball and his wife ran something called Grizzly Flats Railroad. And I have to find my other notes because I have more notes. What have I done with them? Where are my notes? It says I've got them hidden. And if I got them hidden, where have I got them hidden at? Where would they be? They're not there. Maybe I can read them from here, though. Hang on just a minute. Because I've got a little bit of information about Ward Kimball that I thought was pertinent. You guys may not agree, but I thought it was pertinent. And I lost it again. There it was. Okay, Grizzly Flats Railroad was a 3 feet gauge, which is narrow, what they call narrow gauge train, which a lot of trains were in the early days of American railroading. And it was a 3 foot narrow gauge backyard railroad owned by Disney animator Ward Kimball at his home in San Gabriel, California. The railroad had 900 feet of trackage and operated from 1942 to 2006. So he had quite a long run with it. It was the first full-size backyard railroad in the United States. And Walt used to go out there and run it. Ward would let him run the train back and forth because Walt loved to run the train. And when they built the Disneyland Railroad, as you'll see in a moment, Walt did drive the train once in a while. I don't know that he hauled regular visiting park passengers, but he did haul other people, press and other parts of the Imagineering staff and that kind of. He hauled a lot of people. He loved to drive the train. And Grizzly Flats Railroad was notable for helping Walt Disney discover his childhood fascination with trains, which led him to build the Carrollwood Pacific Railroad, which is what he called his little one, which is a rideable miniature train in his backyard, and also influenced the design of the Disneyland Railroad within the Disneyland theme park in Anaheim, California. GFRR's rolling stock included 2 steam locomotives owned by Ward Kimball, are now on display at the Southern California Railway Museum, which was formerly the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris, California. The railroad's depot building and water tower were moved to Justy Creek Railway, another private railroad owned by John Lasseter. So John Lasseter of God, I can't remember anything this morning. I can see it right in front of me. You know who he is. Toy Story guy and all those movies. John Lasseter owns some of the stuff that was in Ward Kimball's Railroad, which I think is really cool that he's got it, and it's still being used in some capacity. But anyway, there's the train. The whole history of trains goes back to Walt's days as a newsboy. He rode the trains. He had a job. He rode the trains selling cigars, bubble gum. If no, maybe not bubble gum. That's where he learned not to like bubble gum, and then that's why you don't sell bubble gum in the parks today. Newspapers and things like that to railroad passengers between like St. Louis and Chicago or something. And he'd ride that back and forth and sell his papers and his other things and earned a little bit of money that way, I guess. This is opening day at Disneyland. Walt is driving the train, although I do see somebody in the background that's probably the other engineer. And this was the EP Ripley, and I don't know if that's number 1 or number 2. No, that was here. There's a fun fact if you don't know much about Disney railroads. Maybe you guys know all this already. The locomotives and all the railroad cars and everything for the California Disneyland, the original park, were all built right there on the property. They weren't original steam locomotives. They were built from scratch, from the ground up. And they were built at 5/8 scale, which is what they needed to fit the park to make it look right. But they were all built right there. Later, when they came to Disney World, the Imagineers who were in charge of putting a railroad there actually went down to the Yucatan of Mexico, and they found 3 or 4 old locomotives that had been used for generations to haul sugarcane and things like that around Mexico from the cane fields into the factories or the plants and back. And they were more or less on the scrap heap, weren't being used, had been retired, and he retrieved them. They got them loaded on board ships, and then from there they got them offloaded onto trucks, and they took them to. They didn't take them straight to Orlando to the park. They took them to another place, and I'm not sure I can't remember the original, but they took them to a steam train locomotive overhaul shop that still existed then, and had them rebuilt front to end. And they went completely through and rebuilt them. A few years ago, there's now one of the only shops left in the whole country that can do that, and is a steam locomotive repair shop and overhaul facility, is what we used to call the Tweetsie Railroad Terminal. Tweetsie Railroad has history of being one of the local trains actually that ran in and out of North Carolina and East Tennessee, and in fact was part of the ETNW. Brenda, help me out here. ETNC&W, East Tennessee and North Carolina Railway, which turned into a trucking company that Brenda's father worked for. But ETNW&C ran a train up into the mountains, and they ran one at Christmas that became known as the Santa Claus train. But the whistle on it was particularly shrill or high, and it became known as Tweetsie Railroad. Well, over the years, as that went out of style and that railroad closed down, that train went to the Tweetsie Amusement Park, which was in North Carolina, and became known as Tweetsie Railroad. That Brenda and I grew up knowing. It was always something. They advertised it on TV, and it was local programming and local advertising. But Tweetsie Railroad was kind of a thing. But now it's like I said, it's amazing. A lot of these parks have to take their locomotives there, and some of the Walt Disney World locomotives a few years ago were taken back up there and overhauled. They went through them, changed bearings, and rebuilt Tweetsie. Yes, it's Tweetsie. That's how it's spelled, Tina. You should be able to look up Tweetsie Railroad. If you don't want to, I'll do it in a minute. But maybe someday I'll do a whole story about Tweetsie Railroad. But it was a real thing. Oh, well, sort of. Well, it was a real thing. The train that originally was called Tweetsie wasn't part of Tweetsie Railroad until later. It was ET and WNC. ET and WNC, East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. That's what the letters meant. She probably had that in there already, and I just didn't see it. But that's who her dad drove for. There. I had blocked something out accidentally somehow. So anyway, let's see what the next picture brings. And these are the two of the original Walt Disney or Disneyland trains that were built on site at the Disney machine shops. These are later ones. These aren't the originals. As you can look at the numbers on the front, you see number 4, number 5. I believe that's the. Thought I heard somebody knocking on my door. I think that one on the bottom is the Ernest S. Marsh, who was I'm not sure who he was. Some of the trains are named after executives and people that worked for the Santa Fe Railroad. But if you look really close, you can kind of tell that these are scaled down locomotives. The one at the bottom looks more original size than the one at the top to me. But they've changed. Some of these trains, eventually, they took at least one of these trains to Japan and made it part of the Disneyland Tokyo site and added another one back here at Disneyland. And that's the end of this part of the show. Now, I thought I had a few more slides, and I probably do. I found this going through these slides. This is something I just couldn't resist. So bear with me. This is a video. It's not real good. It looks really bad here. It gets better when it starts. This is same year, same trip, Disney. This is at Animal Kingdom. And this is what was Brenda's absolute favorite ride, I think maybe of all times at Disney World. There, Tina, thanks. She put in a link for Tweetsy. So stand by, watch and listen. Oh, I just realized you're carrying a cup. Now, you like that, did you? I hope I got all that. And I got most of it, and she loved that ride. That, you guys know what that was. That no long it twirl and hurls, yeah, whatever it's called, twirl and something or something and twirl. I can't remember, but you went there. It was kind of like the time machine there at the dinosaur museum thing, and we got on that thing, and she used to like something called the Wild Mouse ride. She's always liked things like that. And she absolutely loved it. We rode it several times while it was still working. It's long gone now, unfortunately. I even liked it too. It jerked you around a lot, but it never made me sick, thank goodness. It might today. My equilibrium is not as good as it once was, but she absolutely loved that ride. Something like that, Tina. You're close. That's not exactly right, but that's close. But needless to say, my wife thought that was great. And I couldn't resist putting that up there because I found it didn't have anything. It has nothing to do with Christmas other than, again, it was the year we were there. Just she and I were there for Christmas, not for Christmas, but right before Christmas in November. and all the Christmas decorations were up. That's why I keep saying it was at Christmas time. The decorations were up. And she just screamed and giggled the whole time we were on that thing. Every time she rode it, she was like that. Nothing ever changed. Did it, honey? Yeah, it bumped you around a lot. It was, I guess you'd say violent in its own way. Um, it was just, but it was a hoot. And I just saw a picture of it. I saw a picture a few minutes ago with the whole name on it now, and now I've already forgot. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. Oh, me. But she liked it, as you could tell. I hope she's on here and saw that. If she didn't, I'm going to show it again. Brenda, did you see that ride or not? I don't see her in here. I can't believe she wouldn't have commented. Hey, people, this is live. This is live videos. I mean, live, kind of like live TV. What happens as we go. I don't know where she went. I'm gonna show it again if she comes back on the show. Well, we'll see if she responds. I found a whole bunch more pictures, and I may do some my version of retro Disney here one day. Between now and Christmas, if Mark's still off, I may pull some of that stuff up and show it again. Do another Disney show, but she likes now. If you like fast things, Carol, I mean roller coasters and things like that. We used to have a small version of that around here. It was called the Mouse Trap. I think they had them it was a common ride at beaches and things like that at one time. But I know there was at least one around here, a place that had a mouse trap ride, and it was like that. It did the square corners and back kind of bounce you back and forth, and it wasn't real fast. It didn't go super fast and fly like a roller coaster today, but uh, and that's pretty much how she rides everything. If it's a roller coaster type ride, she's gonna be having a good time. I promise you. I'm gonna call her back. I think hope she didn't fall asleep. Like I said, she didn't sleep all night, but I'll still wake her up. No. Where'd you go? Well, you got to get back on because I had something I wanted you to see. And I know you didn't see it because you didn't comment on it. And I know you would have commented on it. So you hop back in there and say hi so I know you got back. And I want you to see this. All right. You send me a note. You send me something on the screen so I know you're there. I'll set it back up. Bye. Sorry, she had to run for a biological break there. So I'm gonna set that back up, guys. I hope if it makes you sick, forgive me, but I'm gonna show it for her because I put it in there for her, and she missed it. So. Oh crap! Hang on a minute. You know me, I forgot to set it up right. Now I got it. Now, are you ready for this, darling? Here you go. Now, you like that, did you? I hope I got all that. Oops. That's my girl. I told him you loved that ride. I think that was your favorite ride for a while it was there anyway. It was, you giggled and laughed and squealed the whole time you were on it. Tina said, or not Tina, Carol said that she'd like to go ride it with you sometime. Primeval, was that Primeval Whirl? Now they had one that was just something that went round and round and round. I always got them mixed up, but anyway, you were having fun. You were having a blast. And you asked me if I liked it or if I didn't like it. I was just I just wanted to record your reaction. Because once you started, I knew I had to catch as much of it as I could. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it right from the beginning, but I got most of it. See you, Tina. Thanks for coming by. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much my show. But if anybody wants to hang around and talk, I'll do that too. But that was kind of like Christmas past. I mean, Christmas at Disney has changed so much. I watched the show last night live stream, and they were there, and again it was Resort TV One, and I don't just watch them, but I do watch their videos a lot, and I just the amount of the decorations and things that are there just in the park and then around the park at the resorts, it's all grown and expanded much more. Oh, the other one was Triceratops Spin. That's right. So I guess it was twist and whatever Tina said there. Primeval Whirl. She said she'd ride with anyone who wants to go with me or meet me there. Too bad it's not still there. I wish it was in that regard. They were at the Christmas party. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, last night they were at the Christmas party, correct. Yes, sorry. I was mainly just watching, and the shows were kind of neat. And I'll be honest, the one thing that's changed, I like and I dislike, is that they've taken most of the lights and stuff off the castle as far as decorations go, which I really liked, the snow capped roofs and all that stuff. But I'll be honest, the light projections that they can do on the castle now are absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm just blown away by that. What they can do now with lasers and when we first started going to Disney, the whole thing with lasers then was just bright beams of light shooting out and hitting bouncing off spaceship Earth, and now lasers can paint entire pictures. Yeah, no more dream lights. Oh wait a minute, who left? It wasn't Tina. Did somebody else leave? Oh, Diane had to leave. Anyway, John's still here. John's had tons of phone calls, he said. I don't know, did Carol have to go? I'm gonna have to open my door. It's getting hot in here. Sun's come out. And it's heating up. Well, thank you, Carol, for coming through. And someday maybe you and Brenda can take that ride of some sort, giggle and laugh and squeal. Oh well, I said that like I was going to, and I probably should, and I probably will here in a minute. But I wasn't quite, you know me. I still had 10 minutes from at least my minimum, my normal 2 hours, and but everybody's got things to do. I realize it as it gets closer to the holiday season. Speaking of that, I don't know who will be around next week. If Mark is able, I'm going to be on just because he's been gone. I'll probably be on anyway. Don't know what the show will be about, but I'll have something. And yeah, if anybody's here, great. If there's nobody here, I'll talk to myself. I do that a lot anyway. So, and Kay's still with us. So anyway, I'll be here if anybody wants to pop on. If you've got time, or if you're at a place where you can, or you need a moment to escape whatever else is going on around your family dinner table or whatever, by all means, just hop on. Hang on just a second, guys. I'm going to pop off. I'll be right back. Oh, okay. I had to open my door. I don't know if that's going to help. It's about as warm outside. No, I haven't done anything with the cinnamon oil yet. I will. Oh, my ornament. I forgot to show my ornament. Brenda got me this. She ordered it or got it from the store or Walt. Oh, you can't see anything, can you? Brenda got me this ornament for my tree, which I thought was pretty cool. Get it focused good. If I hold it still long enough. Anyway, as you can see, it's a bear and a couple of deer. And I don't know, I hadn't looked yet to see if there's any other critters in there. But nice ornament. Great first ornament. Cool. I'm looking forward to hanging it up. Yes, Tina, I thought it was very nice. She popped that out earlier and said, "Oh, did you see your ornament?" And I hadn't seen it. It was in a bag, I think. And she'd bought me some new cinnamon oil to put on my to make the library smell better instead of old books and things. Doesn't stink. Doesn't stink to me anyway. But I bought some, and it didn't seem to be lighting my pine cones up. It didn't seem to be strong, very strong. I'm hoping this does the trick. And maybe I'm just not putting enough on them. Maybe I just need to really, really soak them. Remember, don't talk religion or politics at the turkey table. Oh, she's leaving. Are you going to have a tree in the school? Yes, I am. That's the plan, Tina. I'm going to have one here. I just got to go get it. But probably by next weekend it'll be set up. I think I'm either going to get about a 4-foot tree or a tall, skinny tree that won't take up a lot of room. And most of those tend to be a little bit over 4 foot, but not much more. And I'm going to put a few ornaments on it and decorate with lots. It might have my Disney ornaments on it. I'm not sure yet. Old books and old men. Yes. That's what it smells like. Old books, old men, and gun oil from old guns. Which is something I'm always on the hunt for. I got a couple old ones I need to repair. I'm going to try to build a new bench just so I can do things like that. Somewhere I'm going to figure out where that my couch may. Again, I said this last week too. My couch may have to go so I can have more room to put a working area. I need a small working area with some kind of maybe a movable roll around toolbox type bench that's heavy enough that it'll set solid on the floor and not be, not move around too much. Something I can lock in. Anyway, all right, guys. I guess I'll wrap it up. Tina, yeah, you can say your goodbyes, or you can just leave. You've already said them. I'll leave it up to you. John, Carol, if you're still listening, Tina, Brenda, she may be gone. She seemed to be in a hurry. Anybody else that's still out there? All of our new friends that showed up. Julie is still here, and if Jason's still out there, thank you guys all for coming in today. And maybe it may be more Disney next week. I don't know. If I don't have anything else going on, I might just show some Disney slides. I will try not to just bore people to death. So I'll probably try to do something a little bit more interesting than just that. But anyway, have a great weekend. I hope everybody has something. They're looking forward to something on Thanksgiving. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but I'm sure it'll be good. I'm not sure if the girls are coming here. We're going there. I talked to them last night personally, and I think they're both planning on coming up here. May not be at the same time. One may be here Friday, one may be here Saturday. Brenda, I don't know if you knew that yet, but if you didn't, news to you. But anyway, something like that. So you probably need to talk to them and get more up to date info. And that's probably, and Jen or Kelly and Brian are probably going to come up here after they go to his mom's. His mom doesn't live too far away from here. Okay, thanks for being here. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving, or at least a good one. And maybe we'll see y'all again next Saturday. So for now, guys, we'll see you next time. And I'll let you know, give you an update on Mark, and maybe he'll be back next week. You never know. Bye-bye.